Hello, my name's Jasper, you're watching Buckle Up Mk2, and this is the Mazda CX-80 that I have had for a week. Harry has already reviewed this car on the main channel, so today I'm going to go through 5 things I love and hate about it, because I've driven it nearly 600 miles in the week that I've had it, so I think I'm in a place to be able to comment. Unfortunately, I'm going to start with a negative, but that means that I can end on a positive. So the first thing I hate about this car is the front. I don't particularly like the styling at the front of this car. I think these headlamp clusters are too small. I think this grille is too big. I think it looks a little bit like a pig with tiny eyes and a big nose. There are some things I like. I like the gloss black plastic. I like these strikes here that are your daytime LED running lights and indicators. But overall, the front of this car is just quite big and quite ugly, I think. Unfortunately, my dislike of the styling also extends to the back of the car because, well, look at it. It's not exactly the best angle of this thing. When you've got something that's such a large 7-seater, it's quite difficult to make it look good, and I don't think Mazda have done it here. It's just quite bland. I do like the light clusters, but the rest of it doesn't sell me. While I have whinged about styling at the front and the back of the car, the first thing I love is the side profile. I think it looks gorgeous. The bonnet is so long, so sweeping. The side is not fussy, it's just simple, clean, flowing lines. And I just think it looks great. These rear doors are massive, they're so long, they are really, really long. But I think the side profile, it looks so sleek. Kodo design language is really working on something this big when it comes to the side profile. And it's a good thing the car's quite long as well, because you've got to have space for that badge. But more on that in a second. While I'm here, the second thing I don't particularly like about this car is the price. Whilst the starting price of the CX-80 is pretty competitive, when you start adding in some of the options of the things you really want and also moving up to a trim level that's got more stuff in it, it begins to climb quite quickly. And when you get the good engine and the nice driver assist systems, it does start to add up quite quickly. So yes, starting price is good, but I think the way the price climbs throughout the range of the car isn't the best. I said I'd come back to the badge. The second thing I love is what this badge tells me, inline 6, and that's the engine. And that's because it's got a 3.3 litre turbocharged diesel engine. It's a straight 6 unit, it produces 254 PS, 550 Newton meters of torque, and it actually sounds pretty blooming good because it's a straight 6, so the roar when you put your foot down is quite something. Now I know it's 2025 and diesel's not exactly the fuel of choice, but when you've got such a large vehicle like this, you might want to do a bit of towing with it, and you've got a lot of stuff to cart around. Suddenly a big old diesel engine starts to make a bit more sense when it comes to the economy front. So props to Mazda for doing something that really nobody really asked for, but I appreciate it. The third thing that I'm not a massive fan of is the third row space, and that's because yes, it's dead easy to get back here because of those massive rear doors, how wide they open, and this second row does move nicely out of the way. But when you're back here, there's not actually that much space. Certainly I've been in a lot of 3-row SUVs that offer better space in the back seats than this does. Something like the Hyundai Santa Fe or the Disco 5 is definitely going to be better for you if you need to regularly carry passengers all the way in this back row. That being said, the third row gripes I have are purely based on the space back here, because it is pretty well equipped with cup holders on both sides, 2 each, and a USB Type-C charging port, and climate vents even for the third row passengers. So yeah, you've got stuff to play with, it's just you've got to have quite small legs if you want to sit comfortably back here for any length of time. The third thing I love about the CX-80 is the interior design, and that's because it's modern, simple and classy. You've got a lovely array of materials in here. There's a lot of soft touch stuff kind of everywhere really. Door cards, tops of door cards, dashboard, the center console's got some lovely trim on it, and it all feels very nice and proper. There's nothing in here that feels too cheap. There's nothing really that brings the quality down. It's all really nicely designed, laid out and screwed together. It's been quite a joy having to do so much driving in this because the cabin just suits me. I really like it in here. That does bring me nicely onto the fourth thing that I don't like about this car, and that's the fact that adaptive cruise control and a good lane keep assist system is not standard fit. And if you do want it, it's a relatively pricey options package coming in over £1,000. And if you are going to be getting a car like this with the diesel engine, you're likely going to be doing quite a lot of miles because that's the kind of thing you'd be buying a diesel engine for. So it's completely baffling to me why Mazda don't fit their adaptive cruise control system as standard to the whole model range. Because if you're buying this kind of car to haul your family around, chances are you're going to be doing some longer journeys, and an adaptive cruise control system really comes in handy on those. This car is the DeMuro, which is the second from bottom trim level, and anything above that does get it as standard. But I just don't understand why Mazda wouldn't just fit it to the whole range. It would make a lot more sense. Whilst I am missing my controls on my steering wheel for the adaptive cruise control system that I don't have, the thing that Mazda really have got right with this car is the cabin controls. They are brilliant. They're so easy to use. I've got proper buttons, I've got proper dials everywhere, and I just don't know why more manufacturers don't do their cabins like this. My steering wheel is covered in proper clicky buttons that feel nice. The stalks feel good in your hands. I've got electric adjustment for the steering wheel, which is this lovely little joystick. My gear shifter feels nice. All of the bits of the interior that you have to touch feel nice and are very usable. This rotary dial down here for the infotainment system is brilliant. You can touch the screen, but why would you need to when you can do this without having to take your eyes off the road? You've got proper climate controls with physical buttons. You've got a third zone of climate controls with proper physical buttons. It's so refreshing to be in something that's a brand new vehicle that actually has proper buttons and controls in it that are just easy to use and so intuitive. I've got one hate and one love remaining, and for those final two things, I need to take you for a drive. I'm on the move, and the fifth thing that I do not like about this car is the gearbox. And that is unfortunate because it is Mazda's own design and there is some incredibly clever engineering behind it. It is essentially an 8-speed conventional auto, except Mazda allows the gearbox to bypass the torque converter for better efficiency when you're driving, which is great, and the gearbox generally is fine, but I found it to be a little bit dim-witted, slow, jerky, and a bit clunky in certain situations. So when you're pulling away from standstill, that first couple of gear changes I found to be not very smooth at all and a little bit jerky and hesitant. And then equally, when you're approaching, say, a roundabout and braking, the combination of the 48-volt mild hybrid system's intelligent stop mode and the gearbox means that getting the power back in if you need to pull out, having not quite stopped, can take longer than it should, and that's not great in my book. The gearbox does improve mildly in terms of speed of shifting if you put the vehicle into sport mode, but it's still not the smoothest 8-speed, and I just feel like if Mazda had put a ZF 8-speed in this car, it would just be brilliantly smooth all of the time. It isn't all negative when it comes to how this car drives though, because that is my final thing I love, and that is because for something that's this big and the wrong side of 2 tons, this is actually genuinely quite good to drive. And that's because you've got primarily a rear biased all-wheel drive system, you've got a bunch of torque, surprisingly engaging steering, and a suspension setup that allows you to actually feel a little bit of what's going on underneath the car. It rides pretty well, so this is on the 20-inch alloy wheels, but you can get this car on 18s, and on those it's even more comfortable than it is here. Now, this is a car that is much better suited to motorway driving because on unsettled surfaces it doesn't quite settle. So on a smooth motorway, it's brilliantly comfortable, very quiet, very easy to just munch miles in. On rougher surfaces, it does feel a little bit unsettled. It rides a lot better than the original CX-80 did though, and the extra length in the wheelbase does kind of help to take out some of that bounce. But as something to actually chuck into a corner, for a 7-seater, it's genuinely quite good. Throw in the fact you've got that engine, which you can really make roar, and this driving experience is quite good fun. The steering's a bit too slow, but it's accurate and it's got a good weight behind it, so it's predictable. I like it. Well, that is 5 things I love and hate about the Mazda CX-80. Overall, it is a pretty good car, and with a couple of tweaks to the options list of things I'd choose, and obviously overlooking the very subjective elements of styling, this is an excellent 7-seat vehicle. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree with my list of things, and that is everything, so thank you very much for watching. Please see the main channel for Harry's full review of the CX-80, and check out all of the links in the video description for our social media. A couple of ways to support the channel, whether that's merchandise or social media or becoming a channel member right here on YouTube. That is everything. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.